the thing, came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking, it's hard to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm a champion. This for my team. If you talking, it's hard to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm a champion.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to ISN Live for this Wednesday, the 5th of March, 2025. DJ Yoakley and the man with the master plan, the guy who rolls up rolling dirty, Anthony Twiggy Hartwig joins us. And
they see me rolling.
Eating, patrolling, they're trying to get me riding dirty. Go ahead, YouTube. Give us a copyright strike on that.
It's
That was
okay.
Grammy Award winning.
It's worth it. What a great Wednesday. What a great hump day for YSN, March 5th. Didn't last night, hit and miss. Had some exciting stuff, had some not so exciting stuff.
Well, I mean, it was all exciting. Let's not. I mean,
the finals.
The final. Some of them were more geared towards our coverage area, and some weren't. Namely, our beloved Camel Red Devils coming up on the short end of the stick last night, I should say. But man, it wasn't without a fight. I'll tell you that they battled the entire way, and they were everything that Sway said they were going to be yesterday. That Coach Canarino said they were going to be. You get this deep, man. It sometimes it's just a coin flip, and unfortunately, the ball didn't bounce their way last night.
And in this level, little moments of the game turn really big. So, Camel got a little bit behind to start. They were down 12 at halftime, and that second quarter really hurt them because you look at it after halftime, they played a really even third quarter, but they just could not kind of break through Dalton and try to get into that lead. Dalton ran away with it in the last garbage time of fourth quarter, but really it stayed in that 12-point zone for most of the second half until some fouling on purpose to try to extend the game, let Dalton kind of make that score a little bit more lopsided than it was. Just that one quarter, that one moment of the game that really came back to bite Camel, because it was a 1-point game after 13-12. That second quarter, though, just put them in a little 12-point hole. And when you get behind like that in a regional or state even, it just gets harder and harder to come back the further you go against those kind of teams.
There are moments during the game that you've got to make a run. And there were a few of those moments, and credit to Campbell because they just kept getting after it and allowing themselves those moments because it, like you said, it could have gotten away several times throughout the contest. But Campbell just kept pushing, kept pressing, kept grinding their way and making more of those moments for themselves. Just could not get that one big run that they needed to get over the hump. I don't even say back in the game because they were in the game. It never felt like they were out of it until the end. Like you said, and the put away points, the garbage time, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, cannot be more proud of the Red Devils, what they did this season, what they're building right now. Man, I feel bad saying this because I know we're jumping over a whole couple seasons, 3 seasons of sports. I cannot wait to see what this team looks like next year. I know they lose a lot, but what they've established, what they're building is really special, Ant.
Final score was 62-40. Jared Colon led the way with 16 points, and Sway Rodriguez had 9 for the Red Devils. So congratulations to them on a great season. Like you said, Coach Canarino has built the program now. It's not a one-hit wonder in Camel anymore. They've done away with that myth. We talked about it yesterday. So now it's just, okay, what do they have coming up? What are these young guys that watched these superstars that are graduating? What do they have to the table? What kind of work ethic are they going to be taught and bring to the Camel program? I'm excited for it too. Our other 3 teams did win last night.
That was a
2
terrible
of them,
transition, buddy. We got to work on that one.
Sorry.
There's people at Camel like, what the hell?
2 of them went into overtime. 1 of them went into triple overtime.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
I don't know.
Let's see.
I've dug myself a big enough hole, right?
The other 3 teams did in fact win on this given night. No, you're good. Let's talk about let's talk about Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville goes to Columbus, the Ohio Expo Center, to play a team from Columbus. So you could, it was kind of like a home court advantage for the other team. And Louisville fought and clawed all night, went into overtime, and ended up getting that win. This is the program, right? And now they have a matchup coming up next in Columbus again, but not necessarily a very local team. They're going to play, I think, Bishop Hurtley, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Without looking at it, because I was looking at them this morning, there's only 4 teams left. They're jumbled still for some reason in my brain.
When in doubt, go to Mike Swinehart and his wonderful spreadsheet.
Swiney.
Yep, it's going to be Louisville versus Bishop Hurtley, 1:00 on Saturday at the Ohio Expo Center.
By the way, before we get into the dynamics of what this means for Louisville, there was some comments yesterday. I just want to say, again, I get it. Not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but we get things taken care of, and then we get down to places, and it's a different story. It's like the conversations, the emails, the logging, it never happened. So we were thumbs up, good to go, green lit, however you want to put it, to have the video live. And we got it sponsored. We got all of that taken care of. The great people, Rob Johnson, over in Louisville. And then we get down there, like, no. You can do audio, and that's it. And like, we did our best. We did the argument. We did, the trial, the whole, we're going to talk to the jury. We're going to talk to Tim Street at the OHSAA, da-da-da-da-da. And then naturally, we get the, you can do live audio, but live video or tape delay video. I'm just going to put it like, we understand your frustration. Trust me, we're just as frustrated, probably hours before you are. But we're doing our best. And Rob Johnson did a bang up job. His team down there did a bang up job. The program, or is it the program? I think it should be the program. Like the Ohio State, the program.
The emphasis on the.
They got it done. And JFK got it done. We're probably going to talk about this more at the end of the show because I know, Anthony, it is Wrestling Wednesday, which means Gary Altizer is here. And you have an awesome interview today, you gentlemen, as Reagan Koch is here, correct? So
yes,
she's on the program.
From Austintown, 5th district champion.
What a year she's had, and we're looking forward to hearing from her and all the greatness that surrounds her. But ladies and gentlemen, I got to do the intro, and then I'm going to bounce here for a little bit and turn the stage over to the voice of wrestling on YSN. The guy has built this from the ground up, brick by damn brick, right here in the Valley. He's the head coach of the Wellsville Tigers, but he's our head coach here for Wrestling Wednesdays. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Wellsville's finest. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Altizer.
Thank you for the kind intro, DJ. Always.
I try, buddy. You're my tribal
great
chief.
Job.
You're my tribal chief. Okay.
Good
I'm gonna bounce.
Man.
You guys have a great interview, and I will see you on the other end.
Gary, how we doing today, man?
Oh, it's a wonderful day in early March, which means the state tournament in Ohio is coming up. So butterflies everywhere for all wrestling fans this week.
I'll tell you who probably doesn't have butterflies because of the success that she had in the district tournament as a freshman. Austintown Fitch's Reagan Koch, district champion. We're so happy to bring her on. We're going to pop her in here to this show. If I can find it. There it is. There's the mouse. Reagan Koch, thank you so much for coming on to talk to us. How are we doing today?
Pretty good so far.
Pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I think your whole week is about to be pretty dang good. Talk to us about just what it feels like right now going through this week and knowing you're district champion and dealing with the butterflies and now going to state.
It's definitely a lot, and it's really safe to say it's overwhelming, especially as a freshman coming into everything. But it's a really good opportunity to have the There's definitely a lot that goes into it, though. So we'll kind of see how that goes this weekend, especially because it's a brand new experience for me. Um,
Well, Reagan, I was looking at the results from this season's district tournament to last season's district tournament, and man, what a difference Fitch had. I think they finished 34th last season. Doing that, going to district champs. What is it that I know you're only a freshman, but what is it in that room that made such a drastic, ascend to the top like that? What is it about that room? What do you see, and what do you think the reason is that you guys did so well this season?
there's a really big connection between all the girls on the team, and I think that we all have kind of this like fire inside of us that pushes us to want to win and want to compete. And our coaches are the ones that definitely light that fire. They push us in the room every day between like conditioning and just they make us want to be there.
Usually when we talk to freshmen that have such a big impact, the common thread is that the team and the program, the older girls or guys on the team, really make you feel comfortable there instantly. Can you talk about how this program made you kind of feel like you belong the minute you stepped into the room?
Yeah. So I wrestle for Green Machine in the off season and I have been since my first year. And so coming up as a freshman was definitely not as overwhelming as it would have been for some people just because I kind of knew the people that I was wrestling with and knew the people in the room and um but I mean every single person there just wants to wrestle and having people in the same room as you with the same mindset makes it a lot easier to want to be there and want to compete.
So you're a freshman. How about your background in the sport? How long have you been doing it, and what got you interested?
This is my fourth year wrestling. Um, in sixth grade, my little brother had been wrestling for I think 2 or 3 years at the time, and I kind of wanted to try it, see what it was. Kind of dip my feet in the water a little bit, and ended up kind of just going all the way, I guess. Um, I didn't think I was gonna like it. Everybody told me that I was gonna hate it, and then I ended up being good at it, and then I ended up wanting to do it every day. So,
Reagan, this was a season where you had to deal with, your own form of adversity. You missed the first half of the year with, coming back from knee surgery. Talk about what that was like going through it and what it kind of felt like to get back on the mat and to be able to have the success you've had with, a little bit of time.
um, not being able to wrestle in the beginning of my season, especially because I wanted to go into it with such like a headstrong mindset, definitely, um, I don't know. It was humbling, but being able to work myself back up and get to a spot where I was more successful than I was before, and I'm like just in a better mindset about wrestling than I was prior to my injury, it definitely makes everything more special and it makes every win more kind of like from my heart as a wrestler, less of just winning because I'm there, less of because I want to win.
Every week we have a guest on here. I always ask this question. Every great wrestler has a drilling partner that helps make them a better wrestler. Who is your drilling partner, and what is it about them that makes you better?
Um, oh boy, I have a few. Catherine Pontius, she's definitely my go-to in the room, but I for live, there's always somebody else that I try and get with and try and just to kind of get some variation in the room. But Reggie Danko usually goes live with me, so he's a big help.
Not only are your wrestling skills top notch, but your photography out there. You're getting images of the team that great looks out there. Talk about what that's like and trying to capture this season through the lens.
Um, it definitely kind of it. Oh, I don't even know. It's so fun just to kind of be down there and be able to just get moments that you wouldn't be able to get like on a video because being able to be down there and get pictures of people wrestling and in the emotion of the moment and in just in the match and before the match and after the match and get every little piece of it and just like stuck there, it definitely it's a really cool thing to be able to do and be able to have and be able to share with everybody else on my team.
Well, Reagan, you were a district champ, and I'm looking at your results here: a 2-minute pin, 35-second pin, 3-minute 24 pin. It looks, and then a minute 56. So you only had one person that got out of the first period. Were you laser focused for that tournament, and did you want that first place?
I have wanted to go as far as I can since the beginning of this season, and being the being given the opportunity to go to districts, it just kind of put me in a mindset, and I wanted to win it all from the beginning. So for sure.
When Gary's reading off those times, I'm thinking to myself, that's just not just winning districts, that's dominating districts. That's leaving almost no question about who the best wrestler was on the mat. How much confidence is that giving you into going into state? I mean, to feel like everyone in that district had no shot against you almost, and now you're going to the state for the next level. I mean, how much confidence do you have right now?
I'm definitely up there, but part of being a wrestler and definitely as a freshman is not getting like too ahead of myself with everything. So I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna keep my head down, but I'm gonna wrestle with everything I got.
So do you see the sport growing at Fitch, the girls wrestling? Is it getting more popular now that, you guys are, especially probably this week? I would imagine you guys are probably getting a lot of attention from the other kids at your school. How has the buzz been in the hallways?
It's definitely new for us, especially because like even the boys, like we can go to some like big tournaments and it's not usually like this big like electrifying thing, but I mean, first ever girls district title, brought it home. It's definitely something that people are talking about. We have these news boards in our cafeteria. It's up on there. It's there. It's out there.
I know wrestling is such a tight knit community. The wrestlers in the area that either they compete against each other or they know about each other. I saw a picture of you and another pretty good wrestler that we cover from Poland, Ella Thomas, on each other's shoulders a little bit. Talk about the relationship with you two and how you both pushing each other to do great things in the YSN wrestling world.
I have looked up to Ella since my 6th grade year, and being able to wrestle at tournaments with her has been something that I've always really wanted to do. And 7th grade and 8th grade, we were both a part of Team Ohio, and just like even last year going to Indianapolis with her, she's just a fun person, and she's such an amazing wrestler, and kind of being able to go and like, hey, we're gonna get first at this tournament, we're gonna get a good flick, like let's do it. It just it makes the sport more fun, especially like big tournaments.
Okay, I have another question that I always ask, and we keep track of this, of who our best answers are. It's the morning of weigh-ins. You stepped on the scale. You're a 1/10 of a pound under. What is your go-to post weigh-in meal?
Oh man. Um, Ooh, I'm not a big meal person after weigh-ins because I get stomach jitters before my matches, but I get off that scale, I'm watermelon Sour Patch Kids all the way. First thing I go to. Or like that little Airhead bites for sure.
Nice. That's new. Those are new, Anthony. We got to add
Those are
them on
new.
the board.
But just to expand that question, to try to get the answer out of you, when you are able to relax, when it's finally time to eat and treat yourself, then what is that go-to meal?
Calveras all day, every day. Oh my goodness. The chips and salsa, quesadillas, I could sit there and just the whole thing.
I think Mexican is pretty popular with wrestlers, Gary. The ones that we've talked to.
I know that seems like a theme here.
A lot of Chipotle, but that's the first Calaveras we've had, right?
Yeah, definitely is the first
fancy.
one.
Getting a little fancy.
So, I mean, I'm sure we know the answer to this. Your goal is probably be as high on the podium as possible. But do you have any other kind of goals that you're setting for yourself this weekend? Or are you just going in with the mindset you're going to do your best, or have you achieved all your goals for the year?
I don't want to say I've achieved all my goals because every time I reach one of my goals, you got to set a new one just so you can keep climbing that ladder. I would say I'm going there to win it, and if I'm not going there to win it, I'm going there to make it to third period in every one of my matches if I'm not ahead, and I'm going there to be a dominant wrestler, and I'm going there to stand out and get my name out there. I'm just kind of going in there head first and putting it all out there.
Reagan, I got some off the mat questions for you because I know you're much more than a wrestler as a person. My first question is what's been like the hardest part of transitioning from middle school to high school in the school life? What has been the trickiest part about transitioning with the schoolwork from middle school to high school?
Homework and honors classes. I kind of wasn't ready for it. Got slammed a little bit my first quarter or so, but I kept up on it. And still keeping up on it. But definitely the amount of work you get, and especially with honors classes, it doesn't help.
What teacher gives the most homework?
My math teacher, 100%, every night.
It's always the math teachers, man.
Always math. Yeah.
Always math.
So you-
Right, Gary?
That's it. It's almost every time you ask that question, that's the answer we get. So you said you had a sibling that wrestled. We always like to ask when there are family members mentioned, who would stand at the top of the mountain in your family if there was a round robin wrestling tournament at your house?
Oh, probably me. Probably me.
Yeah. I'm sure
All right.
I would put Skittles on that for sure. Skittles on Reagan to win the family round robin tournament for sure. Reagan, let's talk a little bit more about the family though, in a serious aspect, the people that are there for you, that support you. What makes your family kind of unique and special to you? What are some things that you kind of think about your family that makes them so important to what you do?
Out of the 4 years that I've wrestled, and I played soccer when I was little and even volleyball, they have never in my entire life missed a game or tournament or meet or duel, nothing. They at least one of my parents or one of my grandparents, like somebody was always there for me, and I think having that throughout um my career as a wrestler so far has been super important to me, and it kind of just it makes me feel like I have someone in my corner no matter what. So
Reagan, my final question for you today is this going to be, what's next? I mean, we asked kind of the upperclassmen what the next step is after high school, but for you, you've done so much as a freshman. What's left on the big goals that you have that you want to accomplish maybe next year or the year after that?
well, after state, we're going to nationals, and Fargo this year for sure is definitely my biggest goal, and getting as high up on that podium as I can. I just want to climb high.
So, well, you answered my next question is what were your plans in the off season? And I think you Green Machine, Fargo, you got a full plate. So good luck with everything.
Yes, thank you.
Reagan, we
welcome.
want to thank you so much for coming on today and giving us your time and talking to us about your season. We are so proud of you for getting to state and winning a district championship. I know Austintown Fitch is as well. We're rooting for you hard, and Gary Altizer, along with a team of YSN people, will be down there covering you at the state, and we hope that we can get some thoughts about a state championship, hopefully, maybe for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Reagan.
Reagan Koch, freshman from Austintown Fitch, 1 year as a wrestler, one district champion, one trip to state. That's a pretty good way to start your career, Gary.
Oh man, it is. And looking at the team that won this district tournament, a lot of upperclassmen for Fitch. So it really, just to see how much they've improved as a team in 1 year, it's really crazy to go from finishing 34th at the district to first. And it's not like there's a bunch of freshmen that came in. Reagan came in, obviously played a big part of that. A lot of juniors and seniors on the team, they went to that district tournament as well. So really, I think that whatever they've got going on in that room with those girls, the chemistry they have, the motivation that the girls have, it has to be a good thing, because you don't make that kind of jump unless you got something special going on.
Gary, we have other great wrestlers that have also had great district rounds. Let's stay with the girls first. I know there were several girls programs and wrestlers that also made their trip to state. Can you talk about some of the great results that we had on the girls' side for districts?
Yeah, just off the top of my head, we know Ella Thomas got in from Poland. She had a teammate that got in as well. Katie Harshberger from Southern Local got in. A familiar face from East Liverpool, Paige Cowan, is there, and she has a teammate, Alana McGonigal, going with her there. So I don't have them right in front of me. Those are the ones I could remember right off of the top of my head. There's a wrestler from Hubbard. I think she's making her third straight trip to the state tournament. It was a really good weekend for YSN on the boys and the girls side. And I think that Chris and I are going to be pretty busy this weekend.
Also, shout out to United's Austin Brown. Austin,
yes, United as well.
Who also is a district champion going on to state from the Eagles girls program, which has always really had a real good girls program, even before the OHSAA kind of labeled it as an official sport with an official tournament. United has had a strong program even before that.
Yes, I believe this is Dakota's fourth time qualifying, and I don't know if Austin is a senior or not. I think she's qualified every year. They have a coach, Lisa, there. He's got a good thing going on, and he has for a long time.
The Flynn girl is from Hubbard, right?
Hubbard.
Is that what
Yeah.
we're talking about?
Hey, there's only so many spots in my brain to remember everybody.
Emily Flynn.
They're all used
I'm
up,
trying to
man.
hook
They've
you
been
up.
used up. Thank you for the save. I appreciate it.
Well, that's what we do here, buddy. That's what
Three minds together should be able to get it.
By the way, this three shot is the absolute hardest to do because we all have different cameras and we're like over here.
Like,
I saw Gary adjusting, and then Anthony's like doing this off camera. Trying to do No, you guys did a great job with that interview. I mean, she did a great job as a freshman.
Yeah.
You could tell she was nervous early. Which probably summarizes, I would assume, what her season was this year. Little jitters early, and then was able to clean up and look at the success and what she's been able to do now. Gary, I mean, that's not normal, right? That's not normal to see freshmen being able to do what she's able to do.
No, she came in at 23-2, blew through her bracket, pinned everybody. There was only one wrestler that got to the second period. She's got to be on everybody's radar in that 155-pound weight class. And, I just can't stop thinking about the improvement that the team has made. She's obviously in a great spot right now at Fitch.
And then when you add to it that she didn't even have her whole freshman year, right? So she had to miss the first chunk of freshman year coming back from knee surgery that she had in the off season. So that makes it even more impressive because you don't get that freshman preseason workout to get acclimated to what it takes to be a varsity wrestler. It says, in December, you're going and it's full go and you don't have time to waste to get yourself ready for districts.
You don't have time to waste. It's a 16-week season. It's a long grind. That's the only good thing. If you do get hurt early in the season, have surgery, something like that, there is time to heal up and come back. So, hey, congrats to her for taking full advantage of that freshman year. And she's already at 27 wins. I can't imagine what her total would have been had she not missed anything.
Gary, she was talking about Fargo. Explain to everybody, the goofballs out there like me, that what she was talking about, because you were locked on with her. You knew exactly what she was referring to when I believe she said nationals. Can you walk us through that? How you qualify and the chance of wrestlers around here going to Nats?
So it's the Greco and Freestyle National Tournament. It's held in Fargo. And that's the only word you got to say. You say if you wrestled in Fargo, or if you've done well in Fargo, if you're a Fargo champ, you're immediately on a national level. The best wrestlers in the country, especially those who wrestle year round, which is, basically anybody that takes a sport serious as wrestling year round. There are qualifiers throughout the country that you have to place at a certain spot to get there. And you'll see a lot of kids doing fundraisers if they want to go to Fargo. Because it's not it's something that needs to be planned and it's not cheap and it takes a lot of dedication just to be able to qualify. You've got to do something right. So if she's already got her eyes locked on the off season. I mean, she's taking this sport serious, and if she does well there, I think that it's going to continue to translate here during the regular season.
What's the path like to get there?
Like I said, there are qualifiers, and I don't know where they would be. I mean, I think there is one in Columbus here, and it just would depend on, the state where they're held. I don't know exactly the rules on whether you can wrestle in one state and not another. I don't know how it works there. I just know it's an absolute national stage. And if you watch later this month, the NCAA men's wrestling finals, you will hear the word Fargo thrown around in the commentators, as they're talking about their high school career. And if you watch, the quarterfinals, semifinals, they're going to say, he's a Fargo champ, two-time Fargo finalist, things like that, because it does, it holds a lot of weight, because if you can get there and do something, you're legit.
Yeah, and I just love that there's a national tournament held in like Fargo, because when I think Fargo, I just think of the movie Fargo. So I'm thinking,
no
man,
idea
we're going-
why it's held there. I mean, I don't know the history of it. I'm not a big freestyle person. I'm folk style. I like freestyle when it comes to the world championships and the Olympics. But I mean, it's solidified there, and it's part of their community, for sure.
It's wild. I mean, you think about Fargo, there's nothing there. Nothing.
Big wrestling tournament. That's about it.
Well, that's it. Well, because it's funny you said that, because I've tried to get into and like learn more about wrestling and how to announce wrestling and all that. And I've heard them talk about Fargo. I just assumed that it was like a college national or qualifier that they were talking about. I had no idea it was the high school.
Yeah, and I think they do some college stuff, and I think that I think they do a last chance qualifier for the Olympics there, if I'm not mistaken. So they're well ingrained into the wrestling community. It's a northern state. It gets super cold there. It's no surprise that wrestling is popular there when in the middle of January, when it's negative something. You're not outside playing basketball like you would be in Miami. So it only makes sense that, a winter sport would be popular in a state like that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, but the Green Machine is one of the elite programs in the area that's just known for sending people to Fargo. So when I hear wrestlers say that they wrestle for the Green Machine, I'm like, okay, you're pretty dang good. You got yourself going to a good spot.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that's a freestyle club held in the Boardman area, and that's where a lot of the off-season kids that want to wrestle in the off-season, they'll go there. If you're good at freestyle, you've learned takedowns. You're good at takedowns, and you're good at not getting turned from the bottom position. So if you can, perfect your takedowns during the off-season, work on those kind of things when you come back during the regular season. I mean, the amount of mat time that you have above and beyond what you're probably the average wrestler has is that experience goes so far in the regular season. Now, there's an old saying, summer wrestlers make winter champs. So it's not like there are wrestling mats and playgrounds. If you're out doing the work to get to doing these kind of events, you're just going to be so much farther ahead.
All right, let's spin it to this week. There's a lot of bubble guts going on around the state with people that are looking to be state champions potentially by the end of the weekend. Gary, when you look at this, you've been there, you've done it, you've written the book. What should people expect? If this is their first time heading to states, what should these wrestlers expect? What should they be focusing in on a Wednesday at this point? Because I'm sure there's a lot going through their minds. The parents are probably nervous wreck as well. What things and tips would you give them?
For the wrestlers, hey, it's the same size mat. It's the same size circle. It's you and one other person. It doesn't matter that it's in this giant arena with 10 mats and, tens of thousands of people watching. Don't focus on that, because the minute you do, you're taking your mind off of what you have to do. Don't look up. Get on the mat. Don't look up. There's no need to look up. Nothing that's happening outside of that circle has anything to do with you. Keep your head down. Keep focused on what you're doing. And that other person, they're going through the same things you are. So you're not getting somebody that has a leg up on you. You just need to remember you're both out there trying to obtain one goal. You just need to want it more. And as for the parents, hey, it's a great experience. It's nerve-wracking. I mean, it's very, very stressful for parents because of the high hopes that they have and the high hopes that their kids have, and their dreams could be shattered or their dreams could be made. Just let it soak in. Enjoy the moment. Take all the pictures with your kids that you can. Let your kid be a kid when they're not wrestling. Buy them whatever they want to eat. Buy them whatever they want to drink. Get them a T-shirt. soak it up, because you only get so many chances to do these kind of things with your kids, and it'll be gone before you know it.
What I love when I see pictures of the arena down there and the setup, it's like for a casual wrestling fan that's going down there, there's not a bad seat in the house because no matter
No.
where you sit, you're going to have 2 or 3 mats that are right in front of you that you're going to be able to watch really great wrestling on. So there's really not a bad seat in the entire place when you're going to a state wrestling event. It's not like maybe like basketball where if you're sitting on one end of the court, the other end you can't see what's going on. There's always wrestling right in front of you, no matter where you're sitting.
Oh yeah, you just for a fan. If you just go as a fan just to watch, if you follow high school wrestling, you're going to know some names, and that's the fun part, is just picking off. Okay, I know I got this mat coming up, this mat in 3 matches, this mat in 5 matches, and you'll watch, the kids as they come out. It's really, really enjoyable to just be able to root for all the local kids, because then it becomes, okay, now it's our area versus the rest of the state instead of your school. When you go as a fan, you get really, I'll tell you, you get your money's worth, that's for sure. And for the price that you pay to get in, it is well worth it.
What's your favorite part of this week? I've been sent clips of the opening ceremonies, which I think are awesome. As a WWE and professional wrestling fan, I think they should do that every single time. I think everybody should have. You make it to state, you get entrance music to go to your mat. What's your favorite part, Gary?
It's the first round, because everybody's still in it. Anybody there can be a state champ. Nobody's eliminated. Everybody's still got a chance. That opening round is big. The stadium, the arena is packed because all the parents, all the fans for every kid are there. That's when you feel you can really feel the excitement, the anticipation, the hope that everybody has. That's my favorite part. You get to the end of the weekend, you're going to have the diehards there that want to see the finals, and you're going to see the communities of the kids that are in the finals. But that first round is always my favorite at big tournaments because of the hope and the buzz there is in the arena. Gary,
we always put you on the spot every week to try to put on that what was the word we used last week? Prognosticator hat?
Prognosticator.
Man,
I want to ask, like, how many state champions do you think YSN can realistically expect to have after the weekend's over?
Oh man, this is not fair. I would hope they all could be state champs. I mean, if I'm being completely and totally realistic, there are 5 or 6 kids that have a legitimate shot. Whether any of them will do it or not, I don't know. There are no guarantees. There were kids who wrestled this past weekend in some of these districts and some of these divisions who were undefeated, thought that nobody was going to touch them, taking losses. There were predicted state champs that now are not wrestling in the states championships this weekend. Anything can happen at this point. You will see kids who are going to be just fine with being a qualifier. I'm okay being a qualifier. And if they're okay with being a qualifier, then they're not going to get to the top of the podium. And there are other kids who nobody's taken serious, nobody thought they would be there, who are going to really surprise some people. I would say 5 or 6 have a chance. Who knows how many of them will come through? Maybe none, maybe all 5 or 6. That's the most you're getting out of me, man. That's it.
I was going to drill down, but I was too busy typing in about the prognosticator on your nameplate there. I think I spelled it right. I shot in the dark. I went for it.
It looks phonetically correct. So
phonetically, it's right.
That's how I live my life. I just want to be phonetically correct, right? Gary, I mean, we're quickly wrapping up wrestling season and Wrestling Wednesdays. Dude, I don't think people realize or appreciate how much time you put towards this segment, how much time you spend on, amongst many other things, looking into the stats of these wrestlers that we have on Wednesdays. Dude, thank you. Thank you for what you've done for the sport. Thank you for what you're doing across the board. We know it's not easy. Trust me, and without you and Colucci, and some of the cast of characters that we have on the side, these kids would still be looking for attention. And if we can just help one parent or one student athlete, feel better about the sport of wrestling and the dedication and sacrifice that they have on a weekly, monthly, annual basis, we feel better about what we do here at YSN. people don't realize you, dude, you, and you're going to deflect it. I know you're the reason that we have these Wednesdays, and I can't thank you enough.
Hey, man, I'm just very grateful that you guys asked me to do this. I'll be here doing it as long as you can. And I wish I had more brain space to remember every single kid's name and every single kid's accomplishment. But I hope that I do them justice. That's all I can say. And I'll be here until you kick me out, DJ. I'll be here to do it.
Well, I'm just proud of us all for wearing baseball caps today. We all have Major League Baseball represented. Who's on the back of that cap, Garrett?
Well, see, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, full disclosure, but there was a Tiger. I couldn't not buy it. I had to
The
buy
Detroit
it.
Tiger hat?
Yeah, there's nothing that says Detroit on it. It's the only reason I got it. So
listen, I have a Mets hat on. I hate the Mets. I just like the hat, the black and the blue, and a little bit of orange for you, buddy. It's sharp.
Yeah, I'm a Giants fan through and through. I've got about 50 San Francisco Giants hats, and I look for reasons that I have to buy new hats. So this one just happened to be the one that I felt the urge to buy that day.
That's a tough colorway for you, black and orange. I bet you don't have much of that in your.
I had to dig deep to find something to match. I really,
Gary Altizer, we can't thank you enough, man. I know that you're busy. I know that you love this great sport of wrestling, and we love you for loving it and certainly sharing your gift with the world, man. Best of luck. Safe travels down there. Best of luck. Hook up with Colucci. I'm sure he'd love getting some words from you and some advice and stuff like that. And have fun down there, man. I know how much you love it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll be back next week with a full report on the weekend and how everything went. I'm ready to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the prognosticator, Gary Altizer. See you, buddy.
See you guys.
How do you not love the prognosticator? How do you not love him?
I don't know. Like, if you don't, then you've been not watching the show for the last 10 weeks that we've had Wrestling Wednesday, because he's been a mainstay for 4 years now. This is his 4th season of Wrestling Wednesday, and I think every year we raise the bar a little bit, and he's a huge reason why. I mean, I come to him, in September. You ready for Wrestling Wednesday? I'm ready. Let's do it. And we're preparing for Wrestling Wednesday but probably before wrestlers even touch a mat in the fall preseason. So we get stoked for Wrestling Wednesday, and I can't believe that we're here with one more week left, where hopefully we'll have him on and a couple of state champions next week too.
Couple.
5 to 6.
They're all going to be state champions.
All of them. Let's just
every single one of them is bringing it home.
Let's just have like 13 blocks of just nothing but state champs.
I would love it. You know how much we root hard for our kids on YSN. We certainly do. There's no doubt about it. It does suck. I'm not going to lie to you. Whenever they go up against each other, and it's win or go home, because we don't want anybody to go home from
right.
the YSN universe. So
it's kind of one of those bittersweet things, because we're guaranteed somebody to go on, but we also are guaranteed that someone loses.
As a businessman, it's wonderful, right? Because you're like, okay, well, with what the OHSAA charges, we're at our max.
Saving money.
Right. But you don't want, you never root against them. You never okay, I want this team to lose. Again, we just wrap our arms around them. We love them. And I think the older we get from and we sound like a couple old dudes right now, but the older we get, the more you realize that 4 years in high school is so precious. And Gary alluded to it a little bit during his time today. You only have this small window of opportunity. And, when you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, right, and you're in high school, that is roughly about a quarter of your life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you think that that's the biggest deal. That's why breakups are so hard in high school. That's why, everything you do in high school is magnified, because you feel it's such a big portion of your life. Man, the window ahead, the windshield is much bigger than the rear view mirror. And, why it's the rest of your life is exciting. Those moments are huge, because those are the moments the bus rides, the the huddles, the stretching, the locker room, the games, the overtime wins, the championships, the heartbreaking defeats. Those are what you're going to talk about for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years of your life. And why people say the college is the best years of your life, and I don't disagree with that, because there's so much that happens in that 4 years. High school, you're always going to be with the people you grew up with, and you can leave, you can go away. That's always going to be your hometown, and those stories are only going to get bigger and more, riveting along the way, because you become legends of that hometown. And that's what I love about high school sports and community sports so much, is the stories that'll last a lifetime and generations about that one person or that one play. Dude, it's second to none.
When you think about it, and I've done this before in the times when my brain gets to run wild a little bit. You spend 8 hours a day for 12 years, if you're in the same school, K through 12, with the same people. There's probably not a lot of people outside of your family that you spend more time with than you do the people that you went to high school with, in the grand scheme of things, even after high school. Like, how many people have you spent 8 hours a day for 12 years in the same building with, in the same rooms? So
the people you work with. I mean,
right.
it's preparing you. Well, not even anymore, because we do things remotely. But in the olden day, back in my day, it got you ready for what was going to be a career. And dude, I'll tell you what. I mean, we still go home, and when I meet up with my buddies from high school, we still talk about moments. One particular is, we were a little bit mad. We were a little bit immature, but there was one kid on the other team that pissed us off. And so we threw at him, and it took 3 pitches to hit him, and that's the conversation. I mean, that little piece, and the high school football game, and but you do the same things in college. It's just a little bit different, because the people in college, you're going all over the map. Like, you're going all over the country. People in your high school, a lot of them, I would assume, stay at least around the area. You know what I mean? Because this is home, and sometimes you just don't leave home. Sometimes you do, but it's high school. Again, to those kids that are going down, Gary said it best: soak up every moment, soak up every single moment down in Columbus. Here's the other thing: spend some time with your parents and appreciate what they've been able to give to you, your coaches as well, what they've sacrificed to put you in that position, and your team. And because here's the really sobering reality is that is not promised every year. And right. If you're a senior, you probably are realizing that. If you're a freshman, we had Reagan on today. I think it's something it's very hard to do at 14, 15 years old. But to really appreciate those moments and the people that helped you get there during those moments or immediately after. One of the biggest challenges, Anthony, that I think, the youth have at this, because they take those wins so great, they love it, and you want to celebrate them. And those losses they take so hard, and you're heartbroken for them. But parents, I gotta tell them, because for some reason it never means as much coming from a parent. But win, lose, or draw, they're gonna love you, and they're gonna appreciate this ride that you've put them on, because these are the moments when you're happy, when you're successful, no matter the outcome of the match. Your parents, your coaches are grateful that you put so much effort and so much faith in what they've helped you to become. So best of luck to all of the wrestlers this week, especially the ones that are representing YSN. We're so proud of you. We're so incredibly proud of you, and we hope you know that. So good luck in Columbus. Yeah, and
we'll have Chris Galucci down there, and want to remind everyone to follow YSN_wrestling on Twitter and Instagram, or X if you got off the Twitter bandwagon and are calling it X. But either way, we have social media accounts that will be. Is it still a tweet, or is it just a post now? I don't know. not Twitter anymore, but
We're
what
not
do you
going
call a
down
post
that
now?
political
Is it still a
rabbit
post?
hole.
Is it an X? I don't know. Anyway, follow both those on social media. They'll have pictures, they'll have interviews, they'll have all the results for you from Columbus.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we interrupt our regularly scheduled broadcast to bring you a special YSN presentation. Not really that special. It's one we do every week. It's one of the greatest human beings on the rock we call planet Earth. Did you just switch our things?
Yeah,
by
it
the
just
way?
it bothered me. I don't know why. Maybe because it's every day you're on the left and I'm on the right, but I was just like it felt weird. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Ant.
My OCD.
He's one of the greatest human beings you'll ever find on the planet Earth. He's a guy that doesn't necessarily follow winning teams, but he chases winning culture like no other. He's a gentleman who has wrangled radar on more times than we can count. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we bring in the Scotty Tiberius Mitchell.
Thank you, man. You must just have like a notebook of like these like amazing intros for me.
What the hell are you wearing on your head? A sailor's hat? Oh,
It's,
no. Okay.
No, he
Got
said
it,
the
alright.
brim up. He's brim upping it.
Yeah, sorry.
I swear to God, you were wearing a sailor's cap, dude. I was like, what are you? I thought you were getting your Donald Duck on. Scotty's got a sailor's cap, a shirt, and no pants on. That's why he's got this set up the way he does.
Yeah, at first when you were doing that intro, I thought it was like an advisory thing because
Yeah, should have been.
almost canceled us for 2 weeks in a row now. I'm not proud of that.
Let's not make it
Yes,
3.
the hell you're not. I mean, you sit there and you giggle so hard. You're so proud of getting my ass in the jackpot every single week. Fielding these messages, fielding these calls and text messages about, hey, Scotty almost slipped real bad. You're sitting there giggling. And you know what, buddy? I'll take the bullet for you every time. It's never going to change.
Thank
Be
you.
You keep being you. I will tell you this. If you do it again, I'm going to put that bad boy in neutral and roll you down a hill myself.
Yeah, well, definitely don't want that. So,
What's the news, brother? What are we talking about today?
so today I had a couple of different topics that I found to be pretty intriguing. I wanted to talk about them for the show today. The first one, I was thinking about this quite a bit. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on how long do you think it takes to build a winning culture in high school sports? And do you think the timelines are different based on whatever sport it is?
That's a deep one there, Scooter.
Yeah, we got to grab our shovels because there's a lot to unpack there. Personally, I do.
Wait. Say that. You got to grab our shovels because there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
You pack shovels on a regular basis there?
Yes,
Iggy?
absolutely. Don't you guys use your shovels to open cardboard boxes when you get them? I always use my shovel. I always unpack stuff with my shovels.
I'm not strong enough to use a shovel. I don't know.
It's all right, Scotty.
I've never used the
There's a
shovel.
lot of
Dexterity is
shoveling
a
going
trouble
on
point.
right now, I think.
But to get back to Scotty's question, and get the attention off of my mess ups, I think it's different. I think it's absolutely different for every sport. One, because every sport has a different amount of players that are on a roster, right? So, like for football, you have to have 50 plus kids buy into that winning culture, and for basketball, if you're a smaller school, you might have to have 11 or 12 guys buy into that culture. So it could take a little bit longer for a football program to kind of build from one that isn't there to one that gets to that point when it's a winning championship type culture. And I think there's also a lot of factors. Like what kind of kids do you have? Do you have kids that are easy to buy in? Do you have kids that want it that bad? And then obviously, what kind of coach do you have? What kind of leadership do you have up top? It starts with the guys up top. So what kind of coach do you have that is going to put the building blocks into those kids to build the winning culture? I think, Scotty, the reason why this is such a deep question is because there are so many factors to unpack. There's not a bumper sticker answer that would simplify it in one sentence that says, this is how you build a winning culture. There you go. I think it's just so many different variables that go into it.
Allow me to dig in, Anthony, if you would, with the shovel.
Please do. Yes.
There's not a whole lot that I can add to that. Anthony's 100% spot on. The one thing that I really believe in, winning cultures come from. I poked myself in the eye whenever I was laughing at Anthony off the camera. It hasn't done well for me. I think that there's always a cycle, right? In high school sports is very secular. From this, do you like that word? From the stance that you're going to have waves of good athletes or good students or good, role models or just waves of good things happen. And it's just, it's like looking out in the ocean. There's waves and waves and waves. Very rarely do you have across the board, unless it's farmed in. If you get my catch my drift and my shovel. But it's one of those things where you want to continue to have those seniors talking to the freshmen and passing the baton. Winning culture to me doesn't necessarily mean that you're winning state championships or regional or district championships. It means that you've got a group of guys or gals that are willing to win together, no matter what that means. So if it's a game, they're willing to win. They're willing to be better people. They're willing to be better teammates, better community members, better classmates, better students, all of that stuff. Winning culture, and this is going to sound very, very, very politically correct, but it's the way I feel. Winning culture doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win every Lombardi trophy or every state championship or every Larry O'Brien trophy that there is. It means that the people that are in that habitat are the people that are willing to do more and make sacrifices for the betterment of the team and to win at whatever they're trying to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. Because there's a lot of winning cultures and winning teams that aren't necessarily winning championships year after year. But I do think and I had a feeling, you guys would think it's kind of a loaded and layered topic, and that's why I do think most of the time, like culture and building a winning culture, and especially in high school with the constant change and turnover, I don't think there's always exceptions, but I don't necessarily think it happens in just like 1 year. I think a lot of times it takes years and years. Like you can't really microwave it. I think more times than not it takes several years for to have the right people in place, and not only have them in place and have the talent, but to have them all buying in and kind of pulling toward the same thing. So I do think, you could have examples where a team does great for one season and wins the title for one season, but it doesn't necessarily mean they have this amazing culture. I think most of the time, it's something that it takes a lot of time put into it. There's always exceptions, and you'll always see years where a team does really good one year and they just have kind of that special season. But I think most of the time, it's gonna take a while.
It's fair enough. I agree with you, and I think all three kind of were pointed towards the same. Is the right word hyperbole? Is that the right context, Anthony?
I don't know. I'm using a shovel to unpack stuff, so I'm not the guy to ask.
I've always wanted to use the word hyperbole, and I'm hoping that was the right context and the right vernacular.
Well, we're breaking out the $100 words today.
I'm shoveling them out, baby. All those words, unpacking them from 7th grade. Yeah. What else, Scotty? What else you got for us?
The other thing I had, and it kind of goes into this, and trying to.
Hyperbole is an exaggerated claim or statement not meant to be taken seriously. So I don't think you used it in the correct light.
Nailed it.
Nailed
it. We might just be a bunch of idiots.
Sack of subs, Scotty. We're a sack of subs. Okay.
But yeah, and this kind of ties into my first question.
Hyperboles?
Hyperbole?
No, not that. Just the culture thing.
Got it. Okay, sorry. I got really excited.
If you had a choice right now, and again, this might be one that's a little more deep, but if you could go back in high school now and you had the choice of playing for a coach that was gonna be a nice guy and be mild mannered and kind of laid back and let you do what you want, or a coach that's real fiery and is really gonna get into you and is maybe more vocal, what would you want?
Do you want me to go first, Dan, since you went last time?
Yeah, you got it.
That's tough. I don't know that I want either one all the time. You know what I mean? Because I think there's moments where you can have a coach that is way too amped up about something. Because coaches are humans, and they've got to deal with stuff too on a regular basis. That's what makes sports so fun. Is a lot of times you don't know if someone's sick or they're hiding an injury or they're going through something. And coaches are the same way. Coaches can be affected. Coaches can be off their game and they can be on point. I honestly, it never bothered me if I had a coach that was very standoffish. And it never bothered me if I had a coach that was over exaggerated a little bit. What I can tell you, I would not want to play for, because I think that's the easier answer here. And I'm not trying to use it as a cop-out, but is someone who you couldn't trust. Someone who told you to do something, you went out and did it, whether it's over the course of a day, a week, a month, a year, and they set goals for you, and you go and you check those boxes and you put trust into them to do that, and you come back with everything they asked for, and it's the same result as before. They just made you chase your tail a little bit. If there's no trust in a coach, there's going to be no winning culture. I can promise you that. You want someone that you can rely on. You want someone that you can relate to. You want someone that cares about you, that tells you the truth, whether you like it or not. And, unfortunately, there are coaches, and I'm going to put the spoiler alert out there. There's coaches at the next level that are going to lie to you, and they're not going to be trustworthy, and they're going to get you someplace that they want you, or spend your life chasing your tail over here just so you're out of their hair, and then once you come back, it's too late. You disengaged from what you were doing to do what you thought was right for the team, for the coach, for the program, and it's not there. I could give two flying whats about the demeanor on the field, on the court. I want a coach that cares about me. I want a coach that cares about my kid, or whatever that looks like at this level, and someone that I can trust, and someone that says, hey, you need to get better, and here's how. And then when you do get better, you get the results that you were looking for, whether that's playing time or opportunities or whatever. Not someone that says, yeah, that's just, things changed. Like, yeah, you're moving the field goals along the field. So that's what I would say. Anthony, good luck.
So for me, like Scotty, just for your scenario, if it was like a blind kind of reaction where someone stood in front of me and said, Anthony, you have two coaches you can choose from. All you know about them is one is known for being laid back and one is known for being fiery. I would take if I knew nothing else, it was just, hey, you have to make the decision based on just that info. I would take the guy that's fiery for a couple of reasons. One, there's good odds, not always. This isn't universal. This is just, you only know one thing, right? So you're just making the odds. Odds are the guy who's fiery probably cares about winning a little bit more. And then, even if it goes up in flames, it's a lot more entertaining to watch a guy, throw chairs around and yell at people than it is to watch a guy just kind of sit back and watch Rome burn, right? So, if for content, you want to at least be entertained while the team's going down, right? So I will pick the guy that is fiery. If those are my two options, and that's all I know about the two coaches, is one's known for being fiery, one's known for being laid back. I will take the fiery, amped up coach for my path.
You better hope he doesn't start throwing chairs. That's all I'm saying.
I know. Might throw my chair, then I'll be up a creek.
Yeah, I was going to say it's one thing that
Scotty's chair will be hard to throw.
He looks down the bench and he's like, "There's no more chairs." And he looks at Anthony. Anthony's just shaking.
Found one.
Picked you up, and I think, like, if we're just looking at it like on surface level and small, if we just go by, not the more complex side of it, I think in high school, like, if I was involved in team sports in high school, hypothetically, I think I would want in high school the more fiery coach, because at that time in my life, I felt like I needed to be someone getting on me even more, and I needed to be motivated. I feel like I didn't focus as good as I could have at times in high school. So I think I would need that extra fire, extra edge. Now, if I was good enough to make it on a college team and, get to the pros, I think especially the pro level, I think I would want a more just kind of like laid back coach, because I just feel like if you're not motivated by that point, like something's wrong. And I just think also when you're making like that type of money and there's so many expectations on you already, I just don't think a fiery coach at the on that level, the elite of the elite, I think after a while, like, it might work for a bit, but I think after a while, professional athletes kind of tune coaches like that out a little bit.
Scotty, who's that poster behind you?
Not one of your favorite people, that's for sure. But and let me say this. Lately, some of the comments he's made has really gotten me upset. But he's still a guy that gave me a championship from one of my sports teams. It's
Oh.
LeBron. It's
You know,
I thought you were gonna say Miles Garrett. I was gonna say, dude,
LeBron.
what a scumbag. What an absolute scumbag Miles Garrett has turned to be. Whoever could have guessed that?
Hmm.
There
There was no evidence. It's out of nowhere.
Who's got two thumbs and hates Miles Garrett? This guy. All right, Scotty, do you have another question, or are we going to the Joe Dickey Electric? What's your spark?
I had one more thing for
All right,
you guys.
shovel it out. Let's go.
Before we get to the spark. So here we go. And me and Anthony, I couldn't remember if we touched on this in a previous show.
You've asked me this before, Scotty.
Okay, sorry. Well, I haven't asked DJ, but I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know if you could be a part of any high school rivalry right now, and I'm talking. It could be like when it's a rivalry. You know, it's kind of
Maslin Hoban,
fiery.
hands down.
It's not even gonna let you finish. He just knows it.
Maslin Hoban. I know where you're going with this. Maslin Hoban, dude. I will never forget that as long as I live.
Mhm.
They filled up the Hall of Fame stadium more than like capacity. Like they gave out a number. The OHSA gave out a number, and I sat there on the sidelines, 6 or 7 deep, and I was like, "There is no way." There is no way. I mean, there were people as far as the eye can see. Gary Leininger and I parked a mile and a half away from the stadium. It was electric. And I've heard that it's like that. I've heard Maslin, McKinley is like that every end of the season in football. As I understand it, this is not just limited to football for Hoban and Maslin. This is like anything they do. It's a big deal, and I would, if I had to plant myself into a rivalry, I guess that's probably the question. I cut you off. I probably should have waited for the end of the question. This is why I was a 2.1 GPA student in high school. I would go Maslin Hoban.
You know,
You're not gonna make me pick a team, right? Just the rivalry. You're not gonna make me do that part, right?
Just the rivalry.
Okay.
well, then if you stay in Hoban, Scotty, they have their own holy war kind of with Walsh Jesuit, which is also a huge rivalry when they get together. We did a couple of their basketball games throughout the years, and they go nuts when Walsh comes into town. So I think that's another big one down there for Akron Hoban.
Agreed.
Let me ask you this real quick, DJ. Is it
One
like
question, you sack of subs.
I'm sure you've seen the movie Friday Night Lights. Is it like that where the city's just like the entire, like everybody, it's like they're focused on that game going and everything else is just
No, it's different. It's different in the sense that in Maslin, there's multiple teams, right? There's multiple schools, there's multiple districts. Same with Akron. So it's different that, you know, if like Louisville or East Palestine or like South Range, we always say on a Friday night, the best time to ever, if you're a thief or a robber or whatever, or a burglar, the best time you ever want to have is a Friday night in the South Range community because they roll deep. I don't think it's like that in Akron because there's so many districts. In Maslin, there's so many districts, but there's still the atmosphere of, hey, these are extremely high level student athletes that are a lot of times competing for a championship or just pride is on the line. And there is an enormous amount of pride in both of those communities. And yeah. Wait, where am I going with this? No, the answer is no. That it's not like Friday Night Lights, but it also is because there's so many, like a kid from East Palestine, a kid from North Lima, a kid from Louisville, they would want to go and see that game. Like that's of interest, even if your team's not involved. Like when the Penguins are done in the NHL, we're done watching hockey, right? We have no interest to tune in on the game. Pirates, Royals, Guardians, same thing, right? In baseball, you're not necessarily invested in the game. You still find yourself invested in that Maslin versus Hoban game. It's incredible. I never seen anything, never been a part of anything like it.
And Anthony, I know you've told me before, but what would be your pick? Obviously, you can't do South Range.
Yeah, because you put that little nugget in there that I can't use my alma mater.
Yeah.
I'll come a little bit more, into the Tri-Valley, Tri-County area. I think Salem West Branch would have been a fun rivalry to be a student in. I mean, that goes nuts. When we went to Salem West Branch this year, and there was a sign on the wall at West Branch that says, "We've beat Salem again and again and again." I was like, that's cold-blooded in the rivalry, to just kind of put your rival on blast on the wall and the sign like that. I mean, that's like when I was this kid, how seriously we took rivalries, right? We were kind of, maybe we towed that line a little bit every now and then when we were playing Springfield at South Range. But here we are with Salem West Branch. I think they're still kind of towing that line a little bit of how far can we take this rivalry, and that's always fun.
It is. Rivalries are a lot of fun. That's all I had for today.
Good ones. Those were good ones, Scott. I'm proud of you. Way to bring it. You got a little zing on that fastball today. I like it. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and you can visit them on the web 24/7, 365. Even Christmas, even Anthony's birthday, and Scotty's birthday, Easter. Yeah, call them. Call them up. Visit them. DickeyElectric.com. They are everything electrical. That is 100% Anthony's favorite time of the show. Anthony, with that said, why don't we go to you for the spark first?
I know these sparks are usually like lighthearted and fun, but I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to the Springfield community. I know they are going through a big loss right now, and I just want to take the time to remind them and everyone in the Springfield community that YSN is here for you, and we care about you. And if you ever need anything, to contact us, and we will do all that we can for everyone in Springfield. We love that community. We love being a part of it, and we are so sad to hear what you're going through right now.
Prayers up for Springfield. Scotty, what do you got?
So for me today, my spark, lately I've watched two, and it's I feel kind of weird, being a big Cleveland fan, but I've watched two Boston sports documentaries recently. The one called The Comeback on Netflix about the 2004 Red Sox, and one that hasn't concluded yet. It's a 9-parter called Celtic City on Max, and it's about the history of the Boston Celtics. So 2 Boston sports documentaries, and I gotta say they are great. Some of the best sports docs I've seen in a while. The Comeback in Celtic City, and there's only been one episode of Celtic City. There's going to be 9, but the first one was very good. Not too happy with 2 of my pro franchises in Cleveland right now, with the Browns and Guardians. But so I needed something, and those were great docs. So
hey, the Cavs are still at the top of the East, man. You got it. You got it all, Scotty. You got it all.
They are. And it looks like DJ that Cavs and Celtics could be a matchup to go to the NBA Finals. Weren't you big on the? I know you're not. You don't get in the NBA, but weren't you high on the Celtics at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, the last 45 seconds of our show is about as deep as we're going to get in the NBA all year. But yes, I would say the Celtics are still my pick to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm just curious, would you check out the docs I talked about? The comeback.
Is
in
it
Celtic
anywhere
City?
as good as The Last Dance?
I'm not gonna put it on the Last Dance level.
Then no.
It's, I think Celtic City can be, but
I hated Paul Pierce. I hated Paul Pierce. I hated Paul Pierce.
Okay.
I thought he was a real scumbag.
KG too.
KG was just tacky. Like anything is possible. Shut up.
Okay.
We all know you signed with Adidas, and that's their tagline. You don't need to shout it when you like. I'm sure he got millions of dollars for doing that.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, the Lakers have me captivated a little bit. Not gonna lie, Luka going to the Lakers.
Yeah.
I root for the Cavs. My brother-in-law still works for the Cavs. I have investment there. I still got Cavs stuff, but I'm sorry, like, man, I gotta tell you, between the last four, the Final Four, so to speak, in high school basketball and March Madness coming up, NBA can stick it.
Yeah, most people feel that way, especially about the All-Star game, and the Four Nations really put that.
Just to be fair, not all our All-Star games going to kill. The NBA All-Star games, what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Just to clear that up.
Speaking of the YSN All-Star Game, we are working towards the invitations this week. So check with your athletic director, check with your coaches, check your Instagram feeds as well.
Yes.
Anthony's reaching out on Instagram. If we can't get those out fast enough, which, dude, time goes so fast. I mean, I feel like it's a time goes by so no, not for us. It speeds up. Like, it's the fastest. Like, the entire season goes so slow, and then to the All-Star game, it's fast forward. So congratulations to those of you getting invited to the YSN All-Star game. We are publishing those as soon as you tell us yes. We're putting out our graphics.
Yep.
To let the world know that you're going to play in the game. We do have some folks that are not going to be playing in the game, but we want to make sure that they are honored because they of injury or illness or whatever circumstance. So just FYI, don't be a dick, I guess is the best way to put it, and very bluntly, and sit there and challenge us on who makes the All-Star game and why publicly. If you'd like a breakdown of it, we're happy to answer it offline. But we're not going to stand for ever at all you embarrassing a student athlete and saying either my kid deserved to be on this team and you're on the same team, because that's a royal scumbag move, or that kid doesn't deserve to go. It needs to be another kid from another district. That's a normal scumbag move, but we don't want to see that anyway. So there you go. There's
It's a good way to get your comment deleted real quick.
or blocked from YSN on every single social media channel we have, because I've had it with those people. I've had it. Like, these are kids. These are minors. And for you to say that they don't deserve something ever, buddy, you do not get to go past go. I mean, like you do not get to collect $200. Like, you are going straight
to
outta
jail.
here. We're not dealing with you. Male, female, I don't care. You're gone. Like, we're not putting up with it. There's no right. There's no right. If you want to have conversation, hey, why don't you come out, spend your $5 at the March 22nd event at Boardman. We're happy to discuss it, and I'm going to bring that parent up to you, and I'm going to bring that child up to you, and then we can have that conversation, and then you're going to feel real awkward because you're not behind that keyboard anymore, okay? So let's just put it there. Like, we're not dealing with it. This isn't me trying to be a tough guy. It's embarrassing to you, and I'm not trying to live that out, and it's in the world of mental health that we live in, you're not going to do that to a student athlete. You're not going to do that to a parent who has sacrificed everything, as we talked about earlier in the show. So there is your public service announcement of what you're not going to do, what this is not going to become, because we're trying to put these kids, again, on a pedestal for the heroic sense of belonging that they have in their communities, and they deserve it. They deserve it. My spark, after all that, is the fact that we are hiring. Hey, let's go. We need some people. We need an entry-level graphic artist. So basically to make graphics just like this one and to help out. Anthony, how much help would that be in the world that we live in?
Big help.
We're also looking for an entry-level video editor. We're looking to do more with the content that we bring in. Ty does a great job with the highlights. We're looking to add on to that. We are also looking for announcers. This is for all seasons. So, you can specialize if you're a volleyball person, if you're a basketball person, if you're a baseball, softball, football, whatever. We need you. We need to get you on the roster, get you ready to go. So if you're an announcer and you're looking to join our team, we want you. And also we're looking for summer interns. I know it's a big time of year for college kids, high school kids even. If you're looking to intern with YSN, we're looking to have you and train you on anything and everything that you want that we do. And then naturally, you'll become part of our team ultimately. Any people interested, please send it over, just a letter of interest to info at ysnlive.com. Gentlemen, that's a show.
That is a show.
Scotty, way to bring the fastball.
What's that?
Way to bring your fastball today. I'm proud of you.
Thank
Still
you.
got it.
Thank you.
Still got it. Tomorrow on the show, oh boy. I've got a great one. We have a great one. Mackenzie Riccatelli, NCAC Newcomer of the Year from Worcester, will join us on the show tomorrow. We're going to talk to Kens about what this past year has been like. Now, if you remember right, Mackenzie Riccatelli won a lot of awards here at YSN. Big Dog of the Year. I think every year she won Big Dog, if I'm not mistaken, with the week she was nominated. Their senior year, she wins Big Dog of the Year. She was up for multiple titles last year. She had a little chip on her shoulder. Because she didn't feel like she got enough love and appreciation from people around this area. We're going to talk to her tomorrow and shine that spotlight right back down on her. And even though she has moved on, she is, she's better than she's ever been. She is, I use the word electric. She is magnificent. The top scoring guard in Division III in the country.
It's not conference. It's country.
We told you about her. We warned you about her. And all we heard was, oh, no, they're just doing that. Most points for a guard in the country as a freshman. Incredible.
When the season's over in Division III, there might be a couple more accolades. Maybe a Division III Freshman of the Year added on to Mackenzie Riccatelli. I mean, right now, only conference awards are given out. But once that season's over for all the Division III basketball, there might be something else coming up,
I'm just saying, famous Forrest Gump line, how do you feel to be an All-American? Just saying. I think it's there. How do you deny that? All-American. We love America right here. And so does Mackenzie Riccatelli. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a show for Anthony and for Scotty. Scotty, way to go. Staying on the line today, especially coming off of last night. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Good job. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good job. We're out of here. I took a chance there. I took a flyer. You passed the test, buddy. That is your YSN Live for this Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Mackenzie Riccatelli on the show and more. Anthony, Scotty, I'm DJ. We'll see you next time. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.